Welcome to First and Gold, presented by Pickett Sports, Boom Fantasy. A week until the Super Bowl. Let's get into some props to break it all down. Brad, Thomas, Matt Mcafee. Boys, it's Sunday, and we don't have an NFL game to discuss, so we're just going to try to cope through this together. Is there a little bit of a post-NFL depression setting in for you guys? What's going on?
I don't think I'm depressed yet. I know I'll probably be depressed after Super Bowl. There's still this anxious, excited, build up to the Super Bowl, because every day I just think about new bets I want to take or think about new angles or what am I going to do for the Super Bowl. But once that happens, once it's over, I'll probably be like, wow, this sucks.
Will, as a Browns fan, I look forward to the offseason. That's where hope returns. The Super Bowl, I'm never that invested anyway. I just want to bet on it. But yeah, now once it's over and we got the offseason, now I can start getting invested here. The real juicy stuff is, where's Aaron Rodgers going? Who's going to get drafted first? All this is, to me, that's the beauty of the NFL. It's 365. And a lot of offseason markets you can bet on and stuff like that too. But yeah, I just hope the game delivers. 50-point total here. So
Yeah.
we're looking at hopefully 7 or 8 touchdowns. Now it's just about trying to, figure out where that production comes from and hopefully cash some tickets. Super Bowl's usually a pretty good thing. You can win a lot of money on it because some of these props are pretty inflated and there's some soft stuff out there. So hopefully today we can find some value here, a week out.
Yeah, we'll probably do a little bit shorter of a show than we usually do. We're not going to spend too much time because we are going to be on a week from now, breaking all down. This is just a little appetizer. Before, like you mentioned, before you get into these props, you sort of have to play out the game in your head. How do you think it's going to go? Is it going to be high scoring, low scoring? Who do you like in the game? So why don't we just get into that? Just sort of your initial feels, your initial leans in this game side and total. Brad, how do you see this game playing out?
Listen, I do think the Eagles win this game. That's not my advocation of betting the Eagles because I'm probably going to bet the Chiefs just because I'm getting Patrick Mahomes as an underdog price. I just feel like that's something I'm not going to pass up for a Super Bowl. But these are just two teams that are so talented. I think we're going to see a high scoring game. It's going to go against the script of a lot of the Super Bowls that we've seen in the past. But if you look at the teams that have gotten into the Super Bowl, they've all had really, really elite defenses. That's why they've been so low scoring. But I don't think either one of their defense is going to absolutely shut you down. Eagles fans might disagree, but it's hard to shut down a guy like Patrick Mahomes. It's hard to shut down a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. So I think we're going to see the Eagles win, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs won. It's not like I'm sitting here, the Eagles are going to destroy them. I'm clearly going to bet on the Chiefs, but I just hope we see fireworks.
Yeah, I tend to think this part of me wants to just wait until game day and wait to see all these numbers just keep getting inflated and then come in and take the unders the day of. There's right now, if you're going to take an over if you plan on taking overs, some of these props dropped a few days ago. They've already been kind of beaten into shape. And you got to wait for all of this day of money to come pouring in. Everybody's going to bet overs the day of. So, if you wait till right before kickoff, you'll probably get some extremely bloated player props, yardage stuff like that. And you'll have a lot of value here on the under. So, it's not a ton of fun betting unders in the Super Bowl. But yeah, to me right now, I'm not going to put down any money on some of these things that are in the minus 110 to minus 130 kind of range, even though I think there might be a little bit of value. I just think everything's going to be juiced to the overs. And so I'm going to be a day of under guy. In terms of the game itself, like Brad said, it's hard to turn down Patrick Mahomes as an underdog here. I think if your head hits the pillow at night and your bet was on the Kansas City Chiefs catching points, I think you're okay with that. There's just certain spots where you want to hitch your wagon to this guy, and it's going to be like, will they let the Chiefs offensive line hold that pass rush? That's probably the key thing. Like, you'll know pretty soon. They didn't against the Bucks. They did against the Niners. Yeah, that'll tell you everything you need to know. So if Mahomes has the time and the ability, and that offensive line has the ability to hold, I think the Chiefs will win this one. If they don't, they play it straight up. I think the Eagles, like Brad said, I think they are the better and more complete team, and I think they would get the win.
With the refs being such a storyline in the conference championship game and a bad storyline, you never want the refs to be involved. It's sort of like, you're going out to dinner. You don't want to be talking about the waiter. You just want the waiter to stay out of it. If you're talking about the waiter, he probably did a bad job. It's the same thing with refs and umpires. Do you think the refs are less inclined to throw flags just because it was such a talking point last week, or is it does it not really matter, you think?
I don't know. I think the refs just call it like they see it, which kind of becomes one of those things where if the flag is there, the flag is there. It's as a ref, I'd imagine it's probably already difficult to referee a Super Bowl. Like, all eyes are on you, literally all eyes. People who don't even watch football are literally watching the game, and ref, stupid call. Emotions are way more involved. So I don't think they make a conscious decision to call less flags, but subconsciously maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that they probably all say, like, hey, like you mentioned, you don't want to be the talking point on Monday. All of this game will be picked apart for days, weeks on end. And if you're the refs, you don't want to be, you don't want them, in the morning shows in the daytime, just ripping your performance over and over again. Goodell doesn't want that. If you're a conspiracy theorist kind of person where they kind of control the narrative of it, I believe they will tell them to kind of swallow the flags, unless it's just absolutely egregious. Casual fans do not want to see holding calls. They do not want to see all those kind of things. So it's, to me, I think they do have a very, very slow whistle, unless it's like an egregious pass interference or something like that. I think the advantage is to the Chiefs here in that sense. Now, the Eagles, they run the ball well. They do some creative things with their offensive line, and it could work both ways. It's just, if I'm a ref, like I said, don't want my name to be, I don't want to see my name on First Take on Monday morning. That's for sure.
Anything you guys have played already? Any bets in the account?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I got a few things. Just a couple little fun props, little flyers. I have non-QB to have a passing touchdown. I have a QB to have a receiving touchdown. That could be a double, two bets in one prop. The receiving touchdown one is 60-1. It's 25-1 for a non-QB to throw a passing TD. We got that last year across the line with Joe Mixon completing a touchdown pass. So I know JD gave out in his channel, with Philly back in the Super Bowl, how do you not think they're going to run a Philly special? Hurts, very athletic guy, plenty of opportunity to get him out on the edge. Andy Reid's just such a creative play caller. We've seen Travis Kelce throw, passes before. Brad, go ahead, man. It seems like you want to say something. Go ahead.
No, when you just said that, it just came to my mind. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs run the Philly special. Like, that just seems like such an Andy Reid thing to do. Like, look what we did. Now we have Travis Kelce throwing the ball to Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Man, if I got Patrick Mahomes on my team, if I got somebody throwing a pass and it doesn't go well, and it's like you said, but you put your head on the pillow at night, it's like, man, Travis Kelce threw an interception for a touchdown. It's like, it better be wide open, man, because if somebody other than Mahomes is throwing the ball, like, it better work. I think Belichick always said that with Brady, where he never tried any trick plays. He's like, I have Tom Brady on my team. Why would I have anybody else throwing a pass? Then eventually, I think it was the 2014 playoff game, they had a double pass where Edelman threw a pass. and it was just the time for it. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought.
Well, and I get that because Tom Brady's Tom Brady. Like, Mahomes, we got 2 weeks to rest that ankle and stuff, which is good. You think he'll be good to go. But yeah, the athleticism difference here between Hurts and Mahomes
Right.
and a guy like Brady. But hell, Nick Foles was never going to confuse anybody as like a big scrambler. So I think it's viable for sure. Those little props, again, they're fun. Things that you could lay a few bucks, smack a big ticket there. That's the kind of stuff I've got in my account right now. Nothing else. Like I was tempted when the line first dropped to try to play both sides, like I did with the Cincinnati and Kansas City stuff, where you could get 2.5 on both sides. But I just decided I didn't want to tie up that kind of money for 2 weeks. And then play this waiting game back and forth. So, I mean, what do you think it closes? Do you think this is the closing number, 1.5?
I was just going to ask. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of public money, recreational bettors thinking what we think. Hey, it's Mahomes. He's an underdog. 1 pick. I wouldn't be shocked if it's a pick. Again, the difference between wanting a pick, I mean, it matters for teasers, but there's nothing to tease it with. And I'm not one of these guys that believes in teasing totals at all. I just don't think it's never. So, whether it's 1 or it's a pick, I mean, hey, maybe the game can land on 1. It's not impossible, but it's unlikely. So, right around 1 or a pick. I do think might get a little Kansas City money. Depend on the Kansas City injury report too. I don't know how much clarity we have on those receivers. Hardman sounds like he's probably not going to play. I don't know how much we know about the other guys, but that'll probably be a big factor in it too. Is Snead in?
I don't know.
Yeah, Snead's a big one too, because they had a lot of rookies in that secondary, which they held up nicely. But I think it'll be somewhat dependent on the injury report. But I wouldn't be shocked if it closes at Pick'em.
I forgot I did have a bet in. Oh my God, I totally forgot. It's just a stupid parlay I put together. I just want to get some action.
I love stupid parlays.
Jalen Hurts touchdown, Valdez Scantling touchdown, Dallas Goedert, Travis Kelce, plus 3, 5, 2, 1.
Was it Hurts and Goddard?
Goddard, Kelce, MVS.
I will say I did play Mahomes over passing yards. I think that's one where recreational bettors, again, they don't get involved until the day of the game, the day before the game. So Mahomes, all these popular guys, Mahomes, Kelce, anyone that's popular, their overs are just going to go up. Nobody, recreational bettors aren't going to sit there and bet under on Mahomes under. So I think it's a good idea, even whether you like it or not. And I do like it either way. You could bet Mahomes over, and I think you'll build yourself a nice 10, 15-yard middle, because I think that line's just going to go up, up, and up, and you can just sit there and you can bet the under before kickoff and have a nice little middle, or you could, just keep it in your pocket. But I do think these popular guys, if you like them over, bet them now. Do not wait till an hour before kickoff, because their lines are just going to steam up.
Yeah.
And I would say also just, I don't know how many, a lot of states are just going legal here at the start of the year. A lot of places, people may be betting on their first Super Bowl. I would say, piece of advice to you guys: if you have a bunch of books available to you that you haven't signed up on yet, this is an awesome time to set yourself up with playing both sides of stuff. You can really, really, really crush and take advantage of those, like first bet guarantees, those types of things. Super Bowl, they already are going to throw a ton of bonuses and odds boosts your way as well. So there's a lot of ARB opportunities for you. So make sure you grab a lot of that free money that's out there. Take advantage of those extra books that are available to you, and those sign up bonuses and those odds boosts, because I can guarantee pay attention to us and other things like that. There's better mathematical based, cappers and channels than the three of us who are more. We all know the math and it's part of what we do, but I wouldn't say any of us are math guys. Some great follows out there. They'll really kind of tell you where the free money is. It's hard to not make money in a Super Bowl. I'll just say that, because it's built in. Like, the books they got so much handle, they're taking so much profit just from the VIG, that they're allowing a lot of free money out there for you. So yeah, if you've got a book available to you that you haven't tried yet, Super Bowl is a great time to sign up.
What is this promo they're doing with Gronk? I know we see the commercials every 10 minutes. He kicks, and then you get what? We don't really know what the promo is if he makes the kick.
On FanDuel, if I'm understanding the promo correctly, Gronk, FanDuel's put $10 million up in free bets, basically. And so if he makes it, and to be eligible, I think you have to put at least a $5 bet down on the Super Bowl, any market. And if he makes it, you're going to get free bets in your account. I'm not sure if it's scaled based on, your normal wager size. Maybe they just drop it randomly into people and everybody's going to, I'm not sure exactly how they're distributing that money, but it's a fun little thing to root on, I guess. And
do you think he'll make it? How long of a kick is it?
That I haven't found out. I'm sure they're not going to have him lined up to take like a 40-yarder.
Right. I feel like he's got to make it, right? Like there's no way you do this promo and he misses it.
Right. Gronk's he's a great athlete, obviously. Yeah. Like, he's going to take it serious, and I'm sure, the commercial spoofs aside, he is going to be training for it. He'll have taken this, a couple hundred times. He'll have kicked this kick. So, I mean, what, an extra point, probably a 35-yarder or something like that.
Yep.
I mean, if you've ever gone out and kicked field goals, like, I mean, a 30-yard, 35-yard field goal is not hard to make, especially with no pass rush and nothing like that. Like there'd be pressure of the moment on you, but Gronk's not going to wilt under that. I mean, he's been there, done that. But yeah, anybody who's walked out on a football field and passed it around, kicked it around, a 30-yard field goal is very manageable. And so if you get a pro athlete out there, I think he bangs it in.
Yeah, listen, to put this in perspective, I kicked a 35-yard field goal. I had never kicked a field goal in my entire life. And all I did was take 3 warm-up kicks. I ran around the track, stretch, took 3 warm-up kicks, and I made it on video this year. Like, Gronk is going to be training. He's drilling this. Like, I probably didn't have the right form. I also do play soccer, but maybe that helps a little bit. But
yeah,
I think because you guys are soccer players, it's easier. I don't think.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, it just a little aside, just naturally just freak leg strength. He was like 14, 15, and he could bang 50-yard field goals. Like, but he was just that kid that had bowling balls in his calves, like, out of nowhere, where you're just like, oh my gosh, genetics, blessed you with that strength. But yeah, I mean, there's technique to it for sure, but it's a lot like a golf swing. The similarities are really, really the same. It's about that point of contact. Like, if you are an inch or two off, like, you'll slice the hell out of it or hook the hell out of it. But yeah, I mean, a few practices, you start to get the familiarity down of it, and maybe playing soccer, there's something to it. You kind of understand how to lace a ball and stuff like that. But Gronk will take care of business for everybody.
What should we talk about? Because we got to save some of this for next week. Anything you guys want to get into first touchdown score or MVP, or save it for next week?
Let's talk about MVP, because I think this is kind of important conversation.
Sure.
Where, casual bettors or people who don't bet NFL that much, I think you have to take a realistic thought process on this and who could be the MVP and who you like better. So I'm pulling up the odds, see if they shifted any. If you like the Eagles, right, and you think the Eagles are going to beat the Chiefs, why would you take Eagles -1.5? And why would you just take Jalen Hurts +130 or take Miles Sanders? Like, I don't think there's going to be any other MVP of this team, because sure, A.J. Brown can have a massive game, but if A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith have a massive game, Jalen Hurts is having a massive game. So if Jalen Hurts doesn't have a massive game and they win, Miles Sanders had that massive game. I think you get a little more dicey with the Chiefs. But I mean, how do you not give it to Patrick Mahomes? Especially, like, we say that there's no narrative betting in Super Bowl MVPs, but
oh no, I think they're totally.
This is going to be such a narrative bet for either of these quarterbacks, because we remember at the beginning of the season, both these quarterbacks were facing offseason scrutiny. We were saying Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't have Tyreek Hill anymore. This team's not going to, not we, but like them. This team's not going to be as good. Now they're in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, they were talking about if Jalen Hurts would even be the quarterback to lead this team, let alone win a Super Bowl. So I think if you like either of these teams, like you have to look at the quarterbacks at plus 130. Like, especially if you're playing juice. Like if you're playing juice to take Eagles money line, like I think you can make a compelling argument to take plus 130 for Jalen Hurts.
I think the ankle too with Mahomes, that he's just this superhero performance. I think if the Chiefs win, Mahomes is absolutely going to be the guy. I'm not as sure with the Eagles just because it's such a deep roster. They could win in so many different ways. I could see somebody else on Philly stealing the award, a pass rusher or something. I'm not as confident with Philly, where look, instead of laying minus 130, you're going to take plus 130, then somebody else wins it. That would be a tough one to swallow. But I don't know, Matt, what are your thoughts here just in general, Super Bowl MVP?
Well, so let's go back to last year and 2 years ago and stuff like that. We'll just kind of look at recent stuff. So Cooper Kupp wins it last year.
Could have given it to Donald.
Well, and a pretty standard performance for Kupp. I mean, for a normal wide receiver, hell of a game. 100 yards, touchdown, the whole nine. Stafford, what did he had at least one interception, if I'm not mistaken. Did he have two?
I don't remember.
I can't recall. But, for a quarterback to not get it, there needs to be turnovers. And then that will open up, a position player or a defensive player. There is a couple markets you can bet. Like you could bet that a QB wins it. I think that's a decent bet.
Gotta lay like minus 650 or something.
I got minus 380 on FanDuel right now.
More reasonable.
Yeah, more reasonable, potentially playable. I know that's not for most of your bettors out there. They are not interested in a minus 380, let alone a minus 600. But if we're just talking value, like Brad said, if it's the Chiefs, you're almost certain it's Mahomes, unless Mahomes just has a 2-pick game where he just doesn't look right. And if he has a 2-pick game where he doesn't look right, are the Chiefs winning that thing anyway? You know what I mean? So it's hard to get there. And like you said, for the Eagles, there's viability in playing a couple of the guys. Potentially, I'm not sure how much I will want to get down on that, because defensive players, you just have to have an insane game, and I've heard the case be made for like Reddick. I've heard the case for AJ Brown. I think those guys are worth a stab. AJ Brown 18-1. I mean, that makes some sense. If Travis Kelce has 12 catches and 2 touchdowns, and Mahomes had, it's just clear that he's the guy, and Kelce 16-1 makes a little sense. But I think it'd be hard pressed to find somebody farther down. There's just not. Miles Sanders, I mean, even at 25-1, like the Eagles have 3 running backs. You know what I mean? And plus Jalen Hurts is a 4th running back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
touchdown.
It's just.
I could see Gainwell having a big day. Like you just never know. There's so
could you imagine?
There's so many guys that could go off with them. Where it's just I don't know. Their defense is good. They could have Reddick could have a big game, and Reddick's getting bet way too much. Where he's like, I think the 3rd most popular bet. That would be
down.
Yeah.
That's probably cutting it too short. But
I like that. I like AJ Brown just because I think he could have a big game against the secondary here. 18-1 is it makes some sense. Wide receivers can get it if they have a monster game. Kelce, I mean, he's just that guy, and I think that he will have a big game. I mean, unquestionably, I just don't feel like the Eagles have the personnel to match up. So if he can have just a bunch of catches, maybe 2 touchdowns, I could see him getting the MVP. But
I still think they'd give it to Mahomes, but you're getting a much better price at Kelce, so I get it. Like it's Kelce, so he's live. I have a hard time seeing the Chiefs winning the game, holding up the trophy, and Mahomes not getting it. That's hard for me to picture. I don't know.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. It would take a like a cartoonish stat line for Kelsey to pull it
Right.
away from Mahomes.
Because even Damian Williams, the last time when the Chiefs won it
Yeah.
against the 49ers, Damian Williams had 3 touchdowns. And like you could have
and
easily given it
Mahomes
to him,
still
and
won the
Mahomes
Super
still
Bowl.
and
I mean,
Mahomes
still won
still
the MVP.
won it. And who was it? Who's the little running back for the Pats? Was it Deion Lewis? Who had James White had like 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, including the game winner, and Brady threw a pick 6 in the game, and Brady still got it. Like there's such a bias towards quarterbacks stuff.
Yeah. The only time Brady like didn't win it was when Edelman won it.
Yeah, did Patton win one of them?
Oh, David Patton. Yeah, I feel like that rings a bell. I'm trying to go back, like, because I know Montana still has the record, right, for the Super Bowl MVPs.
Yeah, he has like 1 million.
I think he got 3, right? Yeah, somebody will need to pull those stats up, but
Brady has a lot of Super Bowl MVPs. Holy smokes. 5?
Who, Brady?
Yeah.
Okay, so Brady's got it.
So there was one other year that he didn't win it. I want to say, was it Patton, one of the little receivers in one of the early ones? I'm trying to think. His first one, would he have won it?
Deion Branch, right?
Deion Branch.
Deion Branch is who it was. Yep.
Deion Branch.
Deion Branch.
And that was what? Maybe the Philly one he won?
That was
that first Philly one? I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's pretty much a quarterback award. Like there's
it was the Philly one.
Yeah, the first Philly matchup back in 04.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And anything that's I mean, we could talk about this for the sake of discussion. Anything you'd actually pull the trigger on right now?
Like in the MVP?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think these markets are going to go too far down. If anything, they'll just be a little bit more on the quarterbacks coming in. Because they're not going to take big money on one of these long shots anyway. So the numbers, they're not going to change too much. You may get, a 25 moves down to a 23 or a 22. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think we'll see very significant movement. But yeah, I don't know.
Let me ask it this way: if you like the Chiefs, which we all seem to like, do you take the 1.5? Do you take the Chiefs on the money line? Do you take Mahomes to win MVP, or do you divide your bet like 3 ways and take a little on all 3?
I think I'll just take money line at plus 105, plus 110 some places. Like, I don't think it's that much of a difference in the MVP market. But I was like, if they become the favorite, then maybe I'll take Mahomes.
Right.
Maybe do half and half.
I think the best price I saw on Mahomes was plus 130. I think there were some plus 150s earlier in the week, but those are gone. Those weren't good numbers. I mean, those were good numbers to bet. Those weren't good numbers from the book's perspective. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, part of me thinks that the Eagles will take the ball and the Chiefs would defer because they've got the kind of been there, done that.
I think they both defer from what I've looked into it.
Yeah.
So I think whoever wins the toss will start on defense. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, with the Eagles, I think it would help them to get out to a fast start. And then, because Mahomes the Chiefs aren't going to change what they're doing no matter what. But like the Eagles want to establish the run, play behind the play action, and all that fun stuff. So if they fall behind, like, so if Chiefs score the first point, say it's just a field goal, I mean, your money line Eagles is not going to be better than 105. So you almost would need the Chiefs, if you're going to come back the other way. But it's just tough. It really is. I'm not fully. I don't have a strong opinion yet on how I think this game script goes, other than I trust Andy Reid and his first 20 plays to have a successful game plan in place. You give him 2 weeks to plan and coordinate for something. I feel like the Chiefs could come out and have some success. Yeah. And so if I'm feeling Eagles, I almost want to wait and just hopefully I can get that counter punch. I mean, obviously you never want your team to fall down 7-0, but like if you're just betting on them, and you're not necessarily rooting on them, I think there could be an opportunity where you could grab some Eagles money. But yeah, Chiefs, gosh, it's just so tough. You got the more established coach and quarterback. It it tells me you gotta why is that plus money? You know what I mean? Or are the Eagles that big of a public team at this point? When I mean, everybody knows Mahomes, and we've seen this combo. Why is this plus money? So it feels kind of trappy to me. I feel like Brad said, the Eagles might win this thing, but you have to almost take the plus money
because like one of those things you're like, great.
Yeah, I hate it.
I think it's because the Chiefs are banged up. We saw Mahomes banged up. We saw a bunch of guys get hurt. The Eagles have Cruz now. So I think it's a little recency bias where if you just, told everyone before the playoffs, hey, it's going to be Chiefs Eagles, it would probably be Chiefs by minus a point or two, which again, whoever's laying a point and a half, probably not going to land on a point. So it probably doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until it does. I understand that. And it's a 3-4 point swing, but it's not like you're going through key numbers. It's not like you're getting them +3 or anything like that.
Yeah.
First and goal, Pickett Sports, Boom Fantasy, check them out. Do you think now it's been a really public sort of trend? I think it's becoming a public trend that the scoring is really quiet in the first quarter. All of Brady's Super Bowls, it's a lot of 0-0s after a quarter. It's a feeling out process. Do you think we get that, or do you think these teams are so aggressive, especially Philly, that we see some more action in the first quarter where totals 9.5 pretty much?
I hope it's not 0-0 in the first quarter. I took a little broken line that I saw at a point in every quarter at +350, and I put a healthy amount of money on it. So
that's a good bet.
If it doesn't, what am I going to say? I think it's fair price, like -400. So I hope not, but I just couldn't imagine these teams are so potent on offense, that they could score at the blink of an eye, and they have really good sustained drives. So I just imagine that we see some fireworks, but then again, it's the Super Bowl. This is where, it's not you're just going out there and just playing in a Week 13 game.
Yeah, totally.
But the old water boy line is last game of the season, can't hold anything back. Or no, that's not water boy. It's I can't. We know, with Brent Lee. I think it is water boy. It is the water boy. Where Brent says that, right? Oh yeah, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna load up on a lot of these fun props, and I think there are some in the chat. We were talking about, what do you guys think? He's like, Deuce says there's a prop out there, both Jason and Travis Kelce to score a touchdown. You get it's 150 to 1.
Why would you not take that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, before I heard the odds, I was like, "Don't do it, terrible bet, sucker bet." But then, hey, 150 to 1. I mean,
150 to 1. Yeah, but it's he plays center, which is so hard for you to leak out at center. If he was a guard or a tackle, where it's a little easier to sneak it, because he's got to snap it and then
snap it to himself. A center keeper just doesn't even snap it, just hikes it and runs in there and nobody calls it. That's a tough one.
He did have that good dance. That was an epic little dance.
Could get a fumble recovery, but I mean, the odds of him getting a fumble recovery in the end zone, that's I wouldn't go crazy with that one.
Yeah, when we talk about it more, that's what's funny about these Super Bowl bets, right? We talk about we say them and we're like, dude, it's 151, it's 300 to 1. I'm definitely gonna play it. And then we talk about them and we're like, ooh, maybe not. But I'm gonna play a lot. For anybody who doesn't, I'm gonna put them all on my channel. I'll probably have something like 15 different ones, but it's gonna be $5 and $10 bets, a lot of them. So it's just to kind of have fun. It's the culmination of the football season.
I think it's a good point. That's where people get in trouble too. They see these bets that are fun, you risk a little to win a lot. And you end up just not doing well. Those are good for the book, where it's counterintuitive. You don't want to bet a lot to win a little, but sometimes that's where the value is, overtime. You get 10 to 1 on overtime. Well, do the math. This is Super Bowl 57. We've had one overtime in the Super Bowl. So 10 to 1 is not a good number. These will there be a safety? All these things that have long prices are just not long enough, because I don't know that people do the math and do the probability and realize, what the true odds are, and you end up making some bad bets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a few things in the game specials kind of sections that I think can have some value. Um, again, like you said, it's hard to devig and figure out,
Right.
what's fair price for some of these things, but they're like you said, you're not getting fair price. That for sure, unless you catch a broken line like Brad did. But I think like points in each quarter, and some of these combined props, just kind of look around and maybe you do find some low hanging fruit. I know people are combing the heck out of these markets to try to find some value, but teams to have like each team to score one touchdown and one field goal minus 190. I mean, that feels like a good bet, but again, it's minus 190. Is that, um, is that something you want to, are you excited to win that bet? Probably not. I mean, I'm always excited to cash any bet, but most people will look at that and they'll go right past it. But I would be interested to go back through the Super Bowls and figure out how many times each team didn't get at least 10 points. Like,
Yeah,
right.
So obviously, we have no weather concerns here in this stadium. That bodes well for the kicking game. Things like that, just like small little edges. We don't have to worry about any sort of 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals plus 440. I mean that type of thing. We're talking about a lot of offense in here potentially. So 2 TDs, 2 field goals for each team. That's 20 points each, and well, a little less, if you're not counting the extra points on a 50-point total on a pick'em game. To me, that makes some sense. I think you just kind of have to go in there and figure it out. See what makes sense, because obviously the book wants this thing to land like right on the number. That's perfect for them. They run a million simulations of this game through all their advanced algorithms and stuff. So if they're right, you want to kind of be as close to what they think is going to happen as possible.
It's interesting because I wonder if it lands on Philly by 1. People took Kansas City +2. There was even I think Kansas City was -2 at the open and it got bet. So you don't want a situation where Philly wins by 1 and you have a bunch of people that took Philly money line and a bunch of people that took Kansas City +1.5, +2, and they get burned. It wouldn't bother me because I like when the books lose, but that'd be interesting.
I mean, if you're a bookmaker and you don't book yourself into even money, like
right.
I mean, what are you doing? You deserve to lose your shirt.
Yep.
I mean, so such a good position to have. Because I mean, sure, you hang a 2 or a 2.5 and somebody comes in and says, "Oh, you messed up." You buy that guy dinner and you say, "Thank you. Like, I appreciate you helping me get my line in good shape." And then you just keep moving it from there. I mean, that's
right.
It is that side of the tables, or that side of the counter, I should say, is a good place to be. Because I mean, why would you take a position in the Super Bowl? I think on regular season games and other things like that, you may say, "Hey, we like here, like we'll go ahead and take a position." But here, nah. I mean, between that, and I heard now, like, props are going to be like these prop bets and stuff are going to outpace the actual sides and totals of the games now too. So
people throwing their $5-10 on the Kelsey brothers to both score a touchdown. That stuff adds up.
It does adds up quick.
Yes.
Yep. And so, like, I mean, there's those situations where you can get middled on the game. Like, you're probably on the prop side of things, you're going to clean up anyway. Like, I mean, that's the thing too, is where I'm not sure they can get equal action on both sides of these props all the time. Like, I know it's a buy and sell market, and I know it's it's like the stock market. Eventually, everything's got a buy price, or I guess a sell price in this sense. But the public is coming to the, thing, and they want to take the over, and you just keep taking it up.
They want to bet yes overtime. They want to bet yes safety. Unless you got enough pro action where people are going to come in and scoop up some of your like no overtime, some of your no safety, some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, there are those, big time bettors that want to bet, 5, 10K per bet and things like that. But I mean, how much action are they going to take on a prop like that too? You know what I mean? Like, so, 100 guys may put $5 on yes, and then it just takes the one guy, that wants to be sharp and get the value on the other side. So I that's the way I think my thought is going to be is come in on the unders game day. We'll see. I'm going to take screenshots now of a lot of these guys, where their line is. And so for next week, we'll have kind of graphics and we can compare where the lines are for Sunday. I think that'll be a good exercise to kind of see,
yes,
in a week where these things have gone and where we think we can exploit potentially some inefficiencies or something.
All right, I think we left enough meat on the bone for next week. Before we bounce, anything you guys play in NBA, Brad? Anything NBA today?
Not yet. It feels so late, right? And when you said that, I was like, man, they got to be tipping soon. It's only 12 o'clock. Not yet. I didn't even have a chance to kind of look at it. I did, for anybody who plays DFS, I do think that Harrison Barnes is a good DFS look today, for anybody who plays it. So
yeah, the Magic and Hornets, that's the early tip here. Wendell Carter, great look, obviously, against a soft Charlotte inside. Very viable double threat today. As you kind of go down the card, I mean, there's some good matchups. Cavs and Pacers should be an interesting one. Now that Halliburton's back, the Pacers are looking pretty good. Without him, you could see how they fell off a cliff there offensively. But I think that's a game that has some sneaky good potential. Knicks and Sixers, that's fun up in your neck of the woods.
Knicks off a back-to-back, a gut punch loss after they rallied back. Batum hits a 3 at the buzzer to force overtime. You wonder how much legs they have left. I was looking at Randall maybe under rebounds too, because second night of a back-to-back, he's going against Embiid. Philly's a pretty good defensive rebounding team. That would be one where it's like 11.5. I'm looking at the under rebounds.
Yeah, Embiid, I'm burnt on him. He ended on 33.
Saw that. He hit 33 and 10 or something like that.
Yeah,
he was 33 and a half, 10 and a half.
Like,
yeah.
It was such a smash spot for him against the Spurs. And that's why he's not the MVP. I'll just say that. Here's a hot take. You found a nerve. Because his effort is it's inconsistent. You know what I mean? Like, and I say that with a guy scored 33 points. Okay, yeah, I get it. And I get it. They won and stuff like that. But like, everybody wants to go crazy when he scores 50 on Joker and, where is that effort? You get that effort from Giannis on a night-to-night basis.
Yeah.
You get that, you know what I mean? And that's Embiid, get in shape, dude. Give us that consistent effort and you'll win the rest. Philly already thinks, oh, it's so unfair. Philly versus the world. Embiid got robbed, all this stuff. It's like the rest of the country, we all like Embiid. We just want to see him, one, A, healthy and play a full year, and B, try hard in all of these games. Actually assert your dominance. Every time you watch a Sixers game on TNT, Shaq will go at him for it. Hey, you are the best, biggest dude out there. Like, what are you doing? Why don't you have 40 and 20 tonight? Like, and I think those are fair criticisms. So tonight in the Garden, nice spot. Like you said, you get your Knicks on a back-to-back. Go in there, give Randall a 50 burger tonight. And, like this is a game that you could bet Embiid, I think. Because he didn't really go hard on Spurs. I mean, like I said, 33-10, nice stat line, just that, but that's like an average game. You know what I mean? Like that should have been a just absolute stat pattern. And tonight might be that game where he looks at it and he's like, you know what? We got no football. Everybody's going to be watching this game tonight. You might go at Embiid here. I think it's a good game to target him.
All right. We'll be back next week. We'll have our NBA shows Tuesday and Thursday. So good luck with all your plays. We'll be back and try to get through this Sunday with no football. Look, we still got games to bet. So definitely a little bit of an adjustment period. But Brad, Matt, appreciate you guys. Pickett Sports, Boom Fantasy. Thank you. And we'll see you next time.